Now, we want to continue with number 22, which is the part 6 of this vectors and scalars question. Now, they said the figure below shows forces 3 Newton, 10 Newton, 3 root 3 Newton, and 6 Newton acting on a particle P. The resultant of the 4 forces is dash. The diagram is shown below. This is the diagram on the board. So now, how do we find the resultant force? Now, don't forget that if you resolve this one, that means we have what? This one is already in the east direction, which is 0 degree. So more or less like 3 Newton, 0 degree is on the east, because here is 90, here is 180, is west, south is 270, while east back is 360. 360 and 0, cos 0 and cos 360 are the same thing. You can confirm with your calculator. So let's say the component here, or the vectors, as the case may be, let me call it vectors. Now let us work. This one is 3 Newton, 0 degree. Then this one will give us what? Let's say 10 Newton, 30 degree. Why? Because it's inclined to the horizontal. So just like our measurement of angle will always be what? From the clockwise, anti-clockwise direction, from the east to any angle or any vectors. So in that case now, this 10 what? Newton, 30 degree angle. Then what about this? This one will be what? 3 root 3 Newton, then 90 degree, because it's on at the east direction, 90 degree. Now, I mean north direction rather. Then which other force we have here? Okay, we have another one here, which is 6 Newton. Here, if I continue to rotate this angle, what would this angle be? This is what? 90. This is 180 plus 60 is what? 240. So I'm going to have it as 60 what? 240. Now, another way so we want to do it is that, okay, this one is already on the x-axis. So we'll say what? 3 Newton for the x, but y is what? 0, because it does not have a y component. It's already lying on the x component. That is another way some people do it. Some will say, okay, let's resolve this. This is inclined to the horizontal, which I thought quick review. Go and watch my quick review of vectors. If you resolve 10 Newton into what? Horizontal axis, because the angle is inclined to the what? To the horizontal. What we are going to have here is what? 10 cos. That means that axis will be cos. Then the other one will be what? 10 sine 30 degrees. So that means horizontal will be what? 10 cos what? 30 degree, which is the same thing. Then 10 sine what? 30 degree. Then we resolve this. This is what? Already he has taken sine. That means he has taken the y component. That means this one only have y component, but x component is 0, because it's already on the y component. So x component of this one will be 0. Then y component about 3 root 3. Now another thing again you must understand. This is measured in Newton. This one is measured in Newton. So now another thing again you need to know is that when we have this one now is what? We can use 240, and we can also use 60. If you are using 60 now, here will not be what? 6 cos 60 degree for the x-axis, because it's lying on the x-axis. Here will not be what? 6 sine 60 degree. But in this case now, there is a negative component here. So cos 240 is the same thing as minus cos 60. You can press the calculator. So if you resolve this one, is on the negative x. This is on the what? Negative y. So here will now be what? Minus what? 6 cos what? 60 degree. Then here will now be what? Minus 6 sine 60 degree. So you just resolve them accordingly. So after doing that now, what we're going to do now is to add all this together to get summation fx and summation fy. So those are the things we're going to get. What's our summation fx? So summation fx will now be equal to what? 3 plus what? Cos this one will now be what? 5 root 3, then 0, then plus what? This is cos 60 is half, minus 3. So when you do that, what do you have? This one will eliminate this one. That will now be 5 root 3 Newton. Then what is summation Fy? Will that be 0 plus this sin 30 is 0.5, which is 5, because 0.5 times 10 is 5. Then 3 root 3, then plus what? Sin 60 is what? Root 3 over 2. And there is minus, there's minus what? Root 3 over 2 times 6 will give us minus 3 root 3. This one will eliminate this. So what we are left there is what? 5. So having done that, to find the resultant, this one is 5 Newton, while this one is what? Is what? 5 root 3. Now to find the resultant will now be equal to what? Square root of 5. I'm trying to check something here. Okay, if you add this one and this f of x, because resultant first normally is what? F of y squared plus f of s squared. I want to make sure that we are correct. Now, this f of y squared is what? 5 squared plus f of s squared is what? 5 root 3 all square root of everything. Now, if you find that, now what do you have as what? This 25 plus what? 5 square is 25 times 3. If you square root of 3, if you square it, you have 3. 3 times 25 is what? 75. So we are going to have square root of what? 100. And what is square root of 100? It will be 10 Newton. So this will be the resultant. Now, but if they ask you for direction, don't forget that to find direction, you also use tan theta is equal to, that means will now be equal to what? Fy, summation Fy over summation Fx. That's what I want to use for direction. If we want to find direction, which is very easy. So what you're going to do is to what? Find what? Fy is 5, Fx is what? 5 root 3. So tan theta is equal to what? 5 over what? This one will cancel. I would have 1 over root 3. Then tan inverse of what? Theta will now be tan inverse of what? 1 over root 3. So what I want to get is what? 30 degree. Because that will give us 0.57. Tan inverse of 0.57 is what? 30 degree. So now let's continue. So we have 30 degree as what? Your direction. So if you want to solve this problem, what I will advise you to do is you have to know the quadrant. Fx is positive, Fy is positive. So that means it will be in the first quadrant. And this angle must be lying on the horizontal. So if it's in the first quadrant, like where the angle is lying on the horizontal, first quadrant, that means if you want to interpret, this is east and this is north. So the answer will be what? North, east, rather, 30 degree what? North. That will be your direction. Or 30 degree north of east. Anyone you want to take is the same thing. 30 degree north of east. If you want to introduce off, take it to the back. So we already asked for direction anyway. But option A says what? 10 root 3. B says 10 Newton. Option A is 10 root 3 Newton. B 10 Newton. C 5 root 3 Newton. D 5 Newton. That is 2007 question 42 JAMB question. So the answer is B. Now let's look at number 23 question of part 6. A body weight W Newton rests on a smooth inclined plane at an angle of what? Of Q degree to the horizontal. What is the resolved part of the weight in the what? In Newton along the what? The plane. So what I'm going to do simply is very easy. So just follow me. Now, if you want to resolve along the plane, they said what? It makes what? A body of W Newton rest on a what? On a smooth inclined plane. So that is what? Incline theta degree or Q degree to the horizontal. So that means this is Q degree to the horizontal. So the weight is what? Placed here. This is what? The weight. That means W Newton, which direction will be downward, vertically downward in direction of gravity. Is what? W Newton in Newton. if you what, don't forget this angle here will be equal to what? This angle here, Q degree. How? Now this is 90 now. And if here is 90, that means here will not be what? 90 minus what? Theta. Here will be 90 minus theta. And you know that if here is 90 minus theta, everything here is 90. So if you now say 90 minus, Q theta, or Q degree rather, theta is always, I'm used to theta. So this is 90 Q, this is what? 90. Everything here is 180. So if you now remove 180 from 90, that means 180, remove 90, remove Q degree. You are going to have what? 90 minus Q degree. And everything here is also 90. So if you say everything here should be equal to what? 90. If you make, what do you call it? Sorry, everything. That means if I make here alpha, for instance, and here is 90 minus alpha. So that means this place now plus alpha should be equal to 90. So if you make theta alpha the subject of formula, you want to have alpha. If you make alpha the subject of formula, here is 90 minus Q degree. So 90 minus Q degree plus alpha equal to 90. So alpha will now be equal to what? Q degree. So here is equal to what? Q degree. So let's clean this part. Now, if you resolve it now, if you resolve this Q degree now into vertical, perpendicular to the plane and along the plane. Now, what we are going to have is that to resolve perpendicular to the plane means that you have to resolve the weight in direction, in this particular direction. So if I resolve this weight in this direction, because it's inclined, here become our y prime, then here become our x prime. So if you resolve this W Newton in the y prime direction, you're going to have it as what? W cos theta cos Q degree, don't mind me. So then this one now is what? W sine what? Q degree. So what they ask us now is what? They said along the what? The plane, what will be the result path? So A is what? W what? Sine Q degree. B, W cos Q. C, W sec Q. D, W tan Q. Then that is 1991 question what? 2. So the answer to that question is what? W what? Sine what? Q. Now let's go to number 24. Number 24. Now, in the which of the following diagram is the resultant R of P, vector P and vector Q correctly represented? Now, these are the options. This 2016 number 6 question of CHAPT. Now, if you look at the diagram, now what you are going to be watching out for is that the P, which is, these are the two vectors, P and what? Vector Q must be what? Must be moving in the same direction. In the same what? Direction. Because there are two vectors. Why their resultant will be what? Opposite. This is the resultant. Resultant what? Will act in what? Opposite what? Direction. So in that case, if you check all the options now, which of them is showing these characteristics? Now, number 1, the P and Q, option A, P and Q are moving in the same direction, Q opposite. Correct? Don't forget, it's only R that will be in opposite. Then, let's say R and Q is what? They are in opposite, in the same direction. But P is opposite. No. Except P is the resultant. So that one cannot be the answer. P and Q are what? Okay, P and R are in the same direction. Wrong. It's supposed to be P and Q. So that one is wrong. P and Q are in the same direction. correct? Both R is also moving in the direction of the P and Q. So that means that that option is wrong. So the right option to this question is option A. Now let's go to number 25. Number 25 says a body pull a nail from the wall with a string tied to the nail. The string is inclined to the wall, inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to the wall. Okay, if the tension in the string is 4 Newton, what is the effective force used in pulling the nail? What is the effective force used in pulling the nail? So there's told us that the boy pulls a nail from a wall with string tied to the nail. The string is inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to the wall, so it will be 60 degrees to the wall. To the wall. If the tension in the string is 4 Newton, so this is the wall now. What will be the effective force used to pull it? To pull it, I will advise you pull it in this direction. In order to you drag it down. So that means in the horizontal component here. Now, because it's inclined to the angle is inclined to the vertical, here becomes cos, while here becomes sine. Don't forget, it's inclined to the vertical, so that means here becomes cos, here becomes sine. The open part is what you want to open it, that is sine. So here will now be 4 times root 3 over 2. So 2 here cancel here, 2 here. So we have 2 root 3 Newton as the force to pull it. That is option A is 2 Newton, B is 2 root 3 Newton, C is 4 Newton, D is 4 root 3 Newton. That is why question 1989 number 3. So that is the answer is 2 root 3 Newton, option B. Number 26 says a motorcyclist passing a road junction moves due west. Moves due west. Due west for 8 seconds at a uniform speed. 8 seconds. You wait 8 seconds at a uniform speed of what? What is uniform speed there? Uniform speed of 5 meters per second. Okay. He then First of all, he moved east. He then moves due north for another 6 seconds with the same speed. Due north, that means when due north, due north, which is another 6 seconds for the same speed. That means 6 seconds for speed of 5 meters per second. What they say we should find now? At the end of the 6 seconds, okay, at the end, let's say end here, okay, his displacement from the road junction is 50 meters in the direction of dash. Now, this is the displacement. I'll draw it from the common point. That is the shorter displacement. Let me complete the triangle. This will now be going up because here will be equal to this will. Now, what is the displacement here first? Displacement will be what? What is the formula for displacement? Velocity times time at constant speed. So that will now give us what? Velocity is what? Don't forget the velocity is constant. That's why I use this formula. Times 6 equal to 30 meters. Then along the X component. What about along the Y component? Now be V times T. This is Vy, Vx. So that will now give us also 8 seconds. That means velocity is 5. That time is 8 seconds. So that means 40 meters. So let's convert it to displacement vector. This X. This XY. Okay, this XY, sorry. Why this one is XX. XX is along the that means displacement along the horizontal. So this one will be 40, while the vertical will be 30 meters. Now what they say we should find? We should find the direction. This will be the direction. And this look at the direction here. The resultant displacement must be going opposite to the two of them. Don't forget, you can still rearrange it this way. Look at the board, please. I want to rearrange because the arrows are not moving in the same direction. The first one they said it was moving 5 meters per second, 8 seconds. That means due west. So it's not going in the same direction. So what I'm going to do now is to readjust the diagram. So if I readjust the diagram, look at what will happen. This is west, so that the two of them can be going in the same direction. So if I draw it like this, then this is what? North. You draw it from a common position. So don't forget that the arrows must be going in the same direction. So in that case, I will not what? Use this common point. I will use this one. So that you must be very, very careful. Use this one. So this will be your resultant displacement, dr. So in this case, this is our what? No need to use this one. So that this one will now be moving up. They are going in the same direction now, while the resultant is what? Against it. Then this is the direction. This is north and this is west. West direction. So it's very clear now. So this is the direction. You must pick the right direction. If not, you miss it. So dr will now be equals to square equal to what? This is 30 meter. Forget here is equal to what? Parallel to this. Then 30 square plus 40 square to get the d. And if you solve for the d, which is given to us already, 50 meter. But this is the direction we are looking for. So what is direction? Tan theta equal to what? 30 over 40. So what do you have now? Take what? Theta equal to what? Tan inverse of 30 over 40. So what do we have? Tan inverse of what? 0.75. So approximately theta will be equal to what? 37 degrees. So press your calculator. So this one is what? 37. Now 37 degrees. So now you can write it as what? Direction can be what? West. 37 degree what? North. So let's check the option. Let's check the capital west 37. You can also what? Balance this side. What do you mean this side? 53. Ow. Everything is 90. So since everything is 90, 90 minus 37 will give us what? 53. So you can use it as what? North also, or not 53 degree what? West. So we can use that one also. Option A say what? Not 53 degree east. B say what? What? Not 37 degree east. C says not 53 degree west. I think that is the answer. D says not 37 degree west. So not 53 degree what? West is the answer, option C. Thank you. God bless you.